Okay, so today we're gonna kind of dive into something I think we all kind of want to get better at, and that's sounding polite in English.
Yeah.
Like effortlessly polite,
Oh,
like
yeah.
that really cool, confident vibe that, makes people just want to help you out, you know?
Yeah.
And I know it's not easy, especially if you're still getting comfortable with English.
Yeah, it's funny how politeness is one of those things that often gets overlooked,
Right.
but it's so powerful. Like it really changes how people perceive you.
Totally. And it's not just a feeling.
Right.
There's actual research on this. One study showed that people were 50% more likely to help someone if they used a polite tone of voice.
Wow. That
Yeah.
makes sense when you think about it. Like if someone's being polite to you, it signals that they respect your time
Yeah.
and they respect your autonomy, and so you don't feel imposed upon,
Right.
and you're much more willing to cooperate.
Yeah, like it's strategic niceness.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to be nice to you because I want you to do something for me.
Yeah. So speaking of strategy, the source material we were looking at mentioned modal verbs.
Yeah.
Can you kind of break that down for us?
Yeah, so modal verbs are those little words like could and would
Okay.
that we can use to soften a request.
Got it.
So instead of saying, give me the book, which sounds a bit demanding,
Right.
you could say, could you please pass me the book?
Right.
And it sounds so much nicer.
Yeah, I've noticed that myself.
Yeah.
Like it's not even about like being submissive or anything.
Yeah.
It's just it creates like a more collaborative vibe.
Exactly. You're showing the other person that you value their willingness
Mm-hmm.
to help, not
Yeah.
that you're demanding their action.
Totally.
Yeah.
What about tone though?
Uh-huh.
Like I can imagine someone saying all the right words, but with a tone that makes you want
Oh,
to run for the hills.
tone is so important.
Yeah,
It can completely override the words themselves.
totally.
Like even a simple phrase like, can you help me, can go from a sincere request to like an order. Yeah.
Just by changing the tone.
Wow. So how do we find that sweet spot?
Drop.
It's more than just slapping a please on at the end, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not just about adding please and thank you to everything you say.
Right.
It's about thinking about, like, in that example, can you help me?
Yeah.
Like a polite tone might be a little softer,
Yeah.
a little bit friendlier, maybe with a slight rise at the end
Mm-hmm.
to make it sound more like a question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like you're genuinely asking, not
Yeah.
just like
Well,
demand.
you're inviting them to help.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like there's a whole musicality
Yeah.
to polite English.
There is.
Yeah.
Yeah. It really is like music. Like you can have too much of a good thing.
Oh, yeah.
You can overdo it with the politeness,
Right.
and it starts to sound insincere.
Okay, yeah, I've definitely heard that, like someone layering on all the pleases and thank yous to the point where it's just like, what do you even say?
Exactly. It's like if someone said, like, oh, if it's not too much trouble, could you possibly maybe lend me a hand?
Right. Yeah, it's like,
It's too much.
yeah.
You end up sounding unsure of yourself.
So there was like a balance then. Like
Yeah.
we want to be polite, but we don't want to drown people in apologies.
Exactly. It's about being considerate without being overly formal or apologetic.
Got it.
The clarity and sincerity are key.
Makes sense. Yeah. It's not just about memorizing phrases. It's
Yeah.
about understanding like the underlying message you want to convey.
Exactly.
So speaking of conveying messages, we've talked about like asking politely.
Yeah.
But what about responding to someone who's helped us?
Oh, that's a good point.
Like a simple thank you is great.
Yeah.
But sometimes it feels like there's room for a little bit more.
Yeah, definitely. Like if someone's gone out of their way to do something for you,
Yeah.
you want to show them that you really appreciate their effort.
So how can we go beyond like just a basic thank you?
Well, instead of just saying thanks,
Yeah.
you could say something like, that's really kind of you.
Okay.
Or I appreciate you taking the time to do that.
Right.
You're adding a personal touch.
Yeah. And it seems like those little additions go a long way in building stronger connections.
They do, yeah. And the more you use these phrases, the more natural they'll become.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like learning any new skill, it takes practice.
Right. And it seems like the more comfortable you get with using this kind of language, like the more confident you feel.
Absolutely.
Like you're not so worried about saying the wrong thing.
Yeah. And that confidence spills over into other areas of your life too.
Totally.
You know, when you feel good about how you're communicating,
Yeah.
you're more likely to put yourself out there and
Yeah.
connect with people.
It's like politeness becomes this positive feedback loop.
Totally.
Yeah. Like the more you use it,
The better you feel.
the more confident you feel,
Yeah.
the more you connect with others.
And those connections can lead to all sorts of opportunities.
Yeah.
Whether it's making new friends,
Yeah.
getting ahead in your career,
Mm-hmm.
or just navigating everyday life more smoothly.
It's like a secret weapon for success.
It is.
Like, we often think about things like networking or public speaking,
Right.
but politeness is right up there.
Yeah, it's a fundamental social skill.
Totally.
Think about the people that you enjoy interacting with.
Mm-hmm.
They probably make you feel respected
Right.
and heard.
Yeah.
And politeness plays a huge role in that.
That's so true. And I think it's easy to forget that even those like small interactions
Yeah.
benefit from a touch of politeness.
I agree. Like whether you're ordering a coffee,
Yeah.
asking for directions,
Mhm.
or just thanking someone for holding the door.
Yeah.
It all adds up.
It's like weaving politeness into the fabric of your day.
I love that.
It's like less about rules and
Yeah.
more about creating like a more positive and enjoyable experience for everyone.
Exactly. Because it's not about being perfect.
Right.
It's about making a conscious effort
Yeah.
to be mindful
Yeah.
and considerate in your interactions.
So if someone's listening to this and they're like, okay, I wanna level up my politeness game,
Uh-huh.
where do they even start?
I'd say start small.
Okay.
Pick one situation this week
Mm-hmm.
where you can consciously try out some of these polite phrases.
Okay.
Maybe it's at work, maybe it's at the store,
Yeah.
maybe just with your family.
Right.
Just try it out.
It's like a little politeness experiment.
It is
And you get to see the results.
exactly. Pay attention to how people react.
Mm-hmm.
Do they seem more receptive,
Right.
more helpful,
Yeah.
more relaxed?
Like a social science experiment?
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
Because we're all constantly learning and evolving,
Mm-hmm.
and language is a big part of that.
Yeah. It's really interesting to think about like how those little tweaks in our language can make such a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what I'm taking away from this is that it's not about becoming like a politeness expert overnight.
Right.
It's about those small efforts
Yeah,
that add up over time.
absolutely. And the best part is it's never too late to start.
Yeah,
You know, you can start incorporating more politeness into your communication style.
totally. And it's a skill that anyone can develop,
Yeah,
no matter their level, you know?
right.
And as we were saying, it makes such a difference, not just for the people you're talking to, but for you as a speaker as well.
Right. It's a win-win.
Yeah.
You know, and it helps you build stronger relationships. It helps you navigate social situations more smoothly,
Mm-hmm.
and it boosts your own confidence.
It's like we've unlocked the secret code
Yeah,
to better communication.
totally.
And the best part is it's not like some exclusive members-only club.
Right.
It's available to everyone.
It is. It's simply about being mindful of how our words and our tone impact other people.
Right.
And I think most people are receptive to politeness.
Yeah,
It just creates a more harmonious atmosphere,
for sure.
which benefits everyone.
It's like we're all kind of contributing to a more pleasant world, you
Yeah.
know? One polite interaction at a time.
I love that image.
Yeah.
Because in the end, politeness isn't just about following rules or sounding sophisticated.
Mm.
It's about connecting with others
Yeah.
in a way that's respectful, considerate,
Yeah.
and genuinely enjoyable.
Well said. So as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of polite English, I want to encourage everyone listening to take what they've learned,
Yeah.
put it into practice,
Right.
experiment, observe, see how even those small changes in your language can make a big difference.
And remember, it's a journey,
Yes.
not a destination.
Love that.
We can always be refining our communication skills
Mm-hmm.
and finding new ways to express ourselves
Right.
with clarity, kindness, and of course, politeness.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of polite English.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed the conversation
It was fun.
and feel inspired to level up your communication game.
Absolutely.
Until next time, keep those conversations flowing,
Yeah,
keep those connections strong. And remember, a little politeness goes a long way.
it really does.